Good evening, everybody. This is the biggest happy hour in a half an hour. I am your hostess with the mostest, Paul Robertson. All right, so want to go ahead and kick this off, and we got a lot to cover here in the show tonight. So hopefully you got a chance to see all the stuff we've been doing since last Friday, and hopefully you tuned in on the live show last Friday where we were, and I think I've been saying it the wrong way, the wrong wording. I obviously I'm not phonetically challenged, or I am phonetically challenged, but I was not at Estacio, which was obviously what I was calling it all friggin' weekend, but it was actually called a exotico. So just like exotic, but spelled a little different. And of course, there's me trying to use my speak and spell to try to say the word. But yeah, so last weekend, down in Miami, hopefully, like I said, you got a chance to tune in, and we were at the restaurant there down in Miami, Exotico, and it's a luau, tiki kind of place, Hawaiian, Polynesian, a lot of great, crazy stuff going on there, from Bananas Foster's to music playing to some big treasure chest drink you can order that's like $100. They got tiki glasses for sale. So, and an unbelievable rum collection as well. But definitely a cool place if you wanted to be down in Miami that isn't necessarily Cuban food. But yeah, that was our last weekend, our little trip there for the Florida Rum Society Miami Takeover. There's our glasses that we used or received for the event last week. And again, that was all because a lot of folks already had plans set for the rescheduling of the Miami Rum Congress. So I think some folks are still going to probably check it out if they can. But again, that's moved out to March, where it's basically spring break for a lot of people. A lot of plans already been made, vacations, trips, etc. So they just weren't going to be able to do it. But they still kept their reservations for last weekend, where they still came into town, had a great time. So the Florida Rum Society kind of used our football term, since it was Super Bowl just this is about a week ago, where we picked up the fumble, or picked up the ball and ran with it, and had a great time. Got a fun chance finally meet a lot of folks in person. Got a chance to meet one of our fellow Friday night viewers and Drums and Rums fan, Mike Dvorak there. Also, big shout out to Mike. We finally got a chance to sync up. I know we were supposed to meet up while we were in Central Florida back in November, and he actually got a chance to bring me some ginger brew. So this was if you've listened to the podcast episode with Katie Darling almost a year ago, and we had her on, and this was a product that Old New Orleans Rum Company makes. It's ginger brew, so I haven't even opened it yet. So supposedly it's in the store. Supposedly places have it on tap. So, but again, thanks, Mike, for hooking me up and bringing me a bottle. We're going to crack this open here soon to bring that down there. So, yeah, like I said, great weekend. Tried a lot of rums there. A lot of rums. Plantation was in town. Grandar, Clairin. We had representation from Clairin, and on the Friday night at the restaurant they had Plantation. I already said Plantation. So Plantation was Friday night, and then during the Saturday tasting at the Hilton was Privateer, Grandar, Clairin, and so yeah. So again, if you're really interested in kind of trying out some new rums, trying out rums that get you, move you a little bit away from the Bacardi or the Captain Morgan or some of the things that you're comfortable with, which is fine. But if you're looking to say, hey, let me try something new, there is definitely, get a chance to check out some of the stuff we post in the Florida Rum Society, or there's probably, even if wherever you're located, there's probably a Rum Society group. So for those that are up in Tennessee, maybe there is, I believe, a Tennessee Rum Society. We met Greg Hill, the second time I've met Greg, and he heads up a Rummelier certification. So there's a little course that you can be certified as a Rummelier. So it sounds just like a sommelier, for wine, but this is it for rum. So then you definitely learn about the different aspects of rum, tasting notes and how to discern from certain things. So pretty interesting. If you want more information, we definitely can get that figured out there. So, but anyway, my point was there's a Virginia Rum Society, and so there's a whole bunch of Rum Society. But again, I think it was a great weekend for me to get a chance, like I said, meet people in person, get a little chance to talk about the Drums and Rums or recognize or, folks that have heard the name or seen on social media, etc. know who, oh, hey, you're the Drums and Rums guy. I think somebody said. So, but yeah, great weekend. So kudos to everybody who put the event on, Jay and John, and like I said, a whole bunch of others that kind of really pulled us together, kind of in a short amount of time. So who knows? But all right, so real quick, while I'm chatting away there, I'm going to try a little bit, put a little bit of something in this glass here. So I'm gonna break out the Bombarda there, the 5-year. So again, you guys know about Bombarda. Captain Jane's been on the podcast. So again, so for this weekend here, I said got a chance to pick up the bottle of the Gingeroo. Can't wait to try it. Also got a chance to pick up a couple samples from our friend Nia from my Rum Diaries. It's almost like a little Happy Meal that she hooked me up with there. That's actually really cute. So so these were a couple samples that she hooked me up with, and two of them were. One was for her. I got to try to get a little sample of the One Drop. So there, Toby, he was on earlier this year, and so One Drop's not in the U.S. yet, so it's only available in the Bahamas where they're located. But I think they're coming real soon. If you listen to that podcast episode, they're working on getting into the U.S. and the U.K. And so again, I got my sample of One Drop, which I will try shortly. And then she also hooked me up a little sample of the Havana, the prized Havana Selection. So there you go. So we got a little some Cuban rum there, some rum from the Bahamas, and so forth. And then what are these other two bottles that I've got here? These other two bottles actually was also from this weekend where I got a chance to interview. So you get a little sneak peek into it. But I got a chance to interview Judith de Bie. And she's from the Netherlands, and she is the owner of a company called Rummie Club. So she brought me a couple samples, rum made in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam area. And so it's kind of cool. They're also hooked us up with some giveaway for next month. For her episode's going to be airing for part of the Women's History Month. And so it was really cool. Got a chance to talk to her, learn about her story, learn about the Rummie Clubs, learn about some of the challenges from the pandemic, and again, talk to somebody in Amsterdam. Right, so really cool. With all these folks around the world that I'm getting a chance to meet, and interesting people that are telling me a lot about different things. So maybe I'll get a chance to travel at some point and actually go visit these people in person. But yeah, anyway. So like I said, that was this weekend. Stopped by also on our way back home from the weekend on Sunday. We stopped by and gave a shout out there, support Elliot and Club Tiki. So again, another past guest there. So they're also this month's February's guest or sponsor of our biggest happy hour and a half an hour in their Facebook group there for this month is for our top contributor. So they've as our Tiki giveaway, so which is drum roll, please. No, I don't have a drum roll. All right. So as we had, so part of this pack is 2 4-packs of Club Tiki. Got a Club Tiki hat. We've got our hula bottle cover there. So I think this is yes. This comes with coconut, so I think this is the girl one. Also locally here, there's a company called Pleasure Tiki. They sell a lot of cool tiki stuff. So if you're looking for tiki gift ideas, and then they are legit tiki. They've actually got some historic pieces of tiki shirts from Pleasure Tiki thrown in there. All right. A couple of clips, of course, of all things, right? Definitely got to have a hula girl on your dash, right? So we got that. And a couple of tiki mug shot glasses here. So I've got this one and this one. So I think you may have seen it 2 weeks ago. And I think that is it. I don't think I probably need to keep the receipt in there just in case. But and they also, I think, threw in a sticker there for you. Whoever that winner might be. There you go. There you go. Our business card, actually. So all right. So that's all of our stuff for giveaway. So which is going to be drawn next Friday, because next Friday is the last Friday of the month, and next Friday of the month. So so definitely want to see, make sure you get in there contributing, posting stuff about maybe a rum that you're interested in, want to know more about, a cocktail recipe, maybe a rum cocktail recipe, maybe, or cool drum stuff, right? I think we talked about that, and I posted some stuff in there, and especially a good segue into our drum, talking about drum postings. Is we just had on this week the episode 84 of the podcast with the global drum ambassador. Now, when I had last year the global rum ambassador on, Ian Burrell, and then now we've got the global rum ambassador on. So super great guy. Our guest was Don Familero. He's been drumming for over 50 years. He's got a lot of interesting stories. He's performed, and mostly in the, lives in the New York area, has performed all over the world. That's why he's known as a global drum ambassador, because he's performed in clinics and all over the world. Also an interesting story about talking about technology and, all this pandemic and doing things with Zoom and all that. So yeah, so if you haven't got a chance to check it out, it is, great. Got about an hour of his time. He's a busy guy. He's very in high demand. He's doing lessons all the time over Zoom or wherever. And just an real interesting guy. And he also, besides doing like most drummers, when they reach that certain level, they're doing drum books and drum, practice things, practice books and so forth. But he actually, part of his whole career, he's learned how to manage his career and certain things. And one of the things that he also wrote was a book called The Cycle of Self-Empowerment. So what did this, I think, was a kind of an real interesting book. And but we'll see. So, okay, so that's what we've got going on. That's what we've been doing for over the last week or so since our, since the last Friday night show. And then again, what we're going to do is for the next upcoming podcast is actually going to be just a recap of our weekend. We'll talk a little bit more, and then that'll lead us right into all of our March episodes with the Women's History Month, where we'll have all of our guests will be women who are drummers or rummers or somewhere in between. And I got a lot of good guests. I've already told you one that's coming on, be part of that. And again, I'm just excited about it because, again, just a chance to talk to a lot of interesting people. And I think that's always the story. There's the drums and the rums are the hook into the person's conversation. And there's one, like I said, we've got coming up that I think is really interesting. That is a rum hook that you may not have thought it was a rum hook. But anyway, so I said, this is what we've been got going on. We've been taping podcasts remotely. So we've been taping shows, we've been traveling and doing things and so on and so forth. So it's just been a jam-packed week of stuff. And again, just looking forward to it. So we're just hit, like I said, 84 episodes. We're closing in on just 16 episodes away. So we're almost, what's that? Do the math. Is that 4 months away? So sometime in May or June, we'll be hitting the 100th episode, which is just amazing that we've even made it that far to that point. So we'll have to start planning for something big for the 100th episode of the podcast. So, and then so forth. So, all right. So anyway, so let me have a little sip here because I've been talking nonstop here. And again, I appreciate everybody joining in here on a Friday night. So I think y'all know what time it is. We go through this little game, and we're going to switch this up a little bit. I'm going to read the cards first, and I'll read it a couple times here. So I'm going to read it first. Then I'll do our what the Florida, and then we'll come back and forth. So give everybody a chance who's tuning in now, later, or at some point what the card is here. So, all right. So, wow. It's surprising that I actually pulled this card because I think this is the same card that I pulled on the digital version of it. That's weird. Have you ever had anything waxed? And if so, what? That's actually pretty impressive. That was the card that I pulled. All right. All right. So here's our what the Florida question. Oh, I forgot to play our little tune here. All right. So there's our what the Florida there. And our what the Florida question for this week is, what's the craziest thing you've done in a car? Oh, I cannot wait to hear the responses on this one because I'm sure they're going to be all over the place. So again, what's the craziest thing you've done in a car? So, okay, and I'll read it one more time after we play our story of our Florida man. So, all right, here we go. So this story comes from where else? Florida, right? So we've got a story here about this was this story was back in 2019. I found this on an Orlando news station. And I'll go ahead and a little premise here. So it was a carjacking that was thwarted, as it says, for the would-be thief unable, to steal this person's car. And this is a little life lesson, I think. If this person just knew how to do something, he may have been able to successfully steal the car, but he wasn't able to. So here's the clip of our this week's Florida man.
Crook first tried to steal a man's car at this shop, but then when he couldn't figure out how to drive it, he ran across the street and stole a different woman's car. Then got into
a carjacking attempt.
I was somewhere
and this was in the Orlando area.
When this at me.
Here's the gentleman that car was trying to get stolen.
How the attack went down as he was trying to get into his car yesterday
why
morning.
His car didn't get
when
stolen.
Deputies say this man,
so Jalen is a 25-year-old man from the Orlando area when they tried to an elderly man at an intersection of East Colonial Drive and Dean Road a little before noon. So I think Mike, if you're probably familiar maybe with that area up there in the Orlando area. Jalen quickly realized he couldn't drive a manual transmission. So yeah, how many people actually drive sticks anymore, right?
From being stolen and was one of these, a stick shift.
This is when he realized he couldn't drive it, and he took off and went to go steal another car.
He kept stealing
and this is when the police showed up and actually were able to arrest and apprehend the gentleman. So a short time later, he was taken into custody.
Stole a second
As
car
he said,
from a doctor's office across
he was charged with carjacking and battery on a victim over 65 in Grandar. So
deputies started chasing that car.
Hitting him with a lot of stuff,
across town to Orange Blossom Trail at Robinson.
That's our Florida man story. He should have,
He's now facing charges for carjacking.
Like I said, I don't think many folks get an opportunity to
speeding away from deputies.
Learn how to drive a stick, but if you do, it's still a valid trait. Now, unfortunately, once more electric cars come into play, more Teslas, there won't be a need to drive sticks anymore. But for those who are going to go on, like a story recently about Amazing Race, where there was a challenge where people were required to have to learn how to drive a car that in a manual transmission in Europe, and so there are a lot of people that had trouble that didn't know how to drive a manual transmission car. And if you've ever driven with somebody who doesn't know how, I'm sure it's a real fun trip there. So there's our Florida man trying to carjack and unfortunately did not know how to drive a manual transmission there. So there we go. So let me read this again. So the perfect question. Again, I did not plan this. I just pulled the card as you saw from the top, and then there was no pre-planning because I just can't think that far ahead. What's the craziest thing you've done in a car? So there you go. Maybe it was carjacking. It'd be great to hear somebody said that's the craziest thing they've done in a car, or maybe they've tried to drive a stick shift, or I don't know. But yes, what's the craziest thing you've done in a car? So that's our question there. So make sure you post it in the Facebook group. And again, don't shout it out. Don't put it in the comments here in the video and in this. Go over to the Facebook group. We'll pin it there and post it in there. And again, that's the whole point of the engaging the conversation with the group, whatever you post it, because some people won't know exactly what it meant if they didn't watch the show. But then it definitely will spur some conversation when people want to elaborate more on whatever your story was from based on that question. So, yep. So there we go. Like I said, a lot going on. We're almost closing out the month. So we'll be wrapping up here next week with our giveaway. So make sure, like I said, make sure you get in. There's still time to go ahead and see who our top contributor is. Check out. We'll also hopefully be posting the video from the podcast with Dom shortly. We'll see if we can try to get that in maybe sometime this weekend, maybe Monday. It may have to be just a little delayed. And then we'll be posting all of our other stuff too. So again, a lot of cool stuff going on. So check out Club Tiki. Like I said, I got a chance to get stop by liquor store down in the Broward County area, Primo's Liquors. We're trying to get, working with them, Club Tiki, to try to get them up this way in Palm Beach County. But if you don't live in Florida and you're not close to Broward County or whatnot, definitely come on and go to the website, clubtikico.com. And you go ahead and order 4-packs on there. So I think you got to order 2 4-packs to get free shipping. And again, you can use our product code. And that, we make a little bit off of the sale there to help support the podcast. Also, the things, we do. Again, it's supporting Club Tiki, supporting me. And again, we're all supporting each other. If you find this stuff entertaining and interesting, what we're doing here. So again, go support. Again, this is a 7.5% cocktail in a can, rum-based, Blue Hawaii, Pina Colada, and they got 2 new flavors that'll be coming out here soon, which we can't wait. And then they will be, I think, offering up a whole 4-pack of a variety pack of the Blue Hawaii, Pina Colada, Hurricane, and the Mai Tai. So that sounds really great. It's right in time for, getting ready for springtime and summertime and so forth. So again, this is the new cocktail in the can. This is the new hard seltzer. This is what you want to be drinking. It tastes less like a seltzer like the other companies that are doing out there with all that carbonation and so forth, and more actually with the flavors. So definitely come check it out. Go to the website, buy some, and so forth, and so on. So again, I'd like to thank Mike for hooking me up and bring me back some. And actually, I have a good chance I got to meet him because I actually was able to drop off his gift or the prize that he won from last week, the Jupiter Rum prize, which again, thanks to them for that nice prize pack that they hooked our winner up with there. So Mike was able, we were able to do a little swap last weekend with the prize. And I actually got my bottle of the Gingeroo. I want to thank Nia from Rum Diaries. They hooked me up with some samples of some rum here to try. So again, rum friends are the best friends. And that's what's really cool is a lot of us here share a little bit that we don't have. And so again, it's awesome that we have a nice little community that folks are sharing their prized rum with each other. And again, too, I'd like to thank Judith from Rummie Club for the samples here. Again, this is some potent stuff here. This is some overproof stuff. This is a 60% ABV, which is 120 proof, and this one is pure single rum, organic molasses. Why do I say it? And it says overproof on it. 58% volume, so whatever that is, 116. I got to do the math there. So a lot of some potent stuff here. Again, make sure you go and submit I'll say one last time because I'm a nice guy. All right, one last time here. What's the craziest thing you've done in a car? So there you go. That's the last time I'm going to say it. And again, there's our hat. And then we've got a shirt also from the Rummie Club. So that's going to be part of March's giveaway. And I appreciate Judith for hooking us up with that. So that is, I think, all I've got here. I think we've covered a lot of ground there. We've talked about our, one last thing before we go. I totally forgot, since we were just last weekend was the Super Bowl. And I talked about this, I believe I did last week. Who knows? It was so crazy and so loud at the restaurant when we did last week's show. But if you got a chance, I think I may have reshared it too, but the Foo Fighters had performed after the Super Bowl last Sunday on Facebook, and they also had some type of thing hooked up with Facebook and the metaverse, or I don't know, whatever it is. And actually, you could have watched the show, which it was actually taped, but still. But the neat thing was they also had the option to watch the show if you had an Oculus headset, one of the VR headsets, right? Facebook bought Oculus, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And so they filmed this performance, and they had like different cameras and cameras on a track and all these things. So when you're in this, in the Oculus, and you're in the VR world, the metaverse, or whatever it was, you can actually walk in and walk around like you're in I don't know, like a sim game or whatever. And you got to go to this lobby. You got to go walk in like you're in a balcony and you're watching the show. And I'll tell you, it was really amazing because, again, it was like you were just 5 feet away from the edge of the stage. Because, again, you have that whole field of vision. The lens is right there. And you can see the whole band. You can see the camera guys. You can see all the behind the scenes stuff. But I know a lot of people that were watching on Facebook weren't really impressed with it, because they saw a different view than what I saw, or people with Oculus saw. So, which is, I don't know. They also had some problems too, which they were complaining they couldn't get in. And of course, everyone's bitching. I'm like, well, I don't know what your problem is. You maybe waited at the last minute, or maybe you went and bought an Oculus at the last minute and thought it was going to be simple to hook up. It's like, do like what I did. You go ask your teenage son, the one who's the one who uses it, say, help me set this up so I can watch this. So I don't know. Best planning on, poor planning on people's parts, maybe the problem. So anyway, again, I appreciate everyone from tuning in for this Friday. So again, go and support these folks. Go check them out. Rummie Club, if you're in Europe, obviously Friends of Club Tiki, One Drop, and the Gingeroo, and so all this stuff. So anyway, so I appreciate everyone stopping in tonight, and we will see you all next Friday. So make sure you keep the Facebook group going there. Post some cool, interesting stuff, and keep it drums and rums related ish. And that's what we're trying to do. Just kind of grow the group here, and get people that are not drummers, get them to learn about some rum stuff, and get rummers who don't know anything about music or drums, and get them into learning some stuff. And again, it's all baby steps, and to grow into more things that you may not have been willing to find out, but you had an opportunity in this group to learn about some things. And like I said, there's a lot of great knowledgeable people that are part of this group, and I really appreciate it for everybody being in it and part of it. So, all right. So again, this is Paul. This is our Friday night biggest happy hour in a half an hour. Have a great night, y'all. I'll see you soon. Cheers.